Hey fam, Dr. Mac here, and we all about staying off that plantation and journey towards freedom. That's what we're going to do today. I've been getting a lot of questions about the significance of why it seems like all these judges are bending over backwards to try to keep illegal aliens here. Why it seems like all of these Democrat politicians will bend over backwards. We'll fly across the half of the world. We'll go ahead and petition other governments to try to bring violent, gang banging, domestic violence, human smuggling, MS13 or Trinidad gang members back to the United States. Why are they fighting so hard to prevent deportation? Why? Why did Biden spend, time telling us the border's completely closed while he let 12 to, 18 million illegals flood the zone? Why? What's the significance? Is the significance that, they're gonna basically count on those votes in the future? Yep, that's significant. But for a lot of people, they're like, but it still doesn't add up. They know it's going to take some while, probably, a decade or several years at least, before they assimilate into the system and be able to, in any way, impact elections. So why are they doing it now? What is the big deal? Why are they so committed to making sure that all the illegals, whether they've beat their wives, beat their kids, beat their dog, robbed people, assaulted people, human trafficked people, gang banging in the streets, assaulted, police officers, they don't care. They want them here. And the question for us, because we're trying to stay off the plantation and continue the journey towards freedom, we need a way to view things as they truly are. So we need a way, because we understand plantation politics, we need a way to basically figure out what roles are being played here in real time, and how do we assess what's really going on. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at this in some detail. So everybody who sees this video will have a clear understanding as to what's happening and why it's important. If you are a Democrat, Marxist, crazy, leftist, progressive, why it's important that you must do this. This is their entire incentive. It's an incentive based on the way that that states apportion seats to Congress, the House of Representatives. That's it in a nutshell. Yes, these people can't, really vote. There's a whole nother story. We can go in on that. But so these people can't really vote. So what benefit does the Democrats get right away from these people being in these various states that they shipped them to strategically to position them within these various states? Here's the benefit. Those states that you have these populations in, whether they're citizens or not, those states get apportioned new seats for the House of Representatives. So there is incredible benefit for these illegals being spread all throughout these states in the country. Because right now, if there was a calculation done, if we were to take all of these illegals out of these states where they flooded the zone and there's all these seats there, the Republicans would gain probably another 10 to 12 seats in the House of Representatives, which would increase their lead in the House of Representatives by close to 27 seats. So it's a strategic move for leftist, progressive, Marxist, Democrat crazies to make sure that I don't care if they're, criminals or not. Let's make sure we just need some representation in these states. We need bodies. So that's what they're doing. They're flooding the zones with bodies. Come what may. They don't care whether our grandmothers are getting smacked down. They don't care where our little girls get felt up. They don't care whether our police officers are stomped in the street. They don't care whether fentanyl is coming over unfettered. They don't care about us American citizens one bit. Because it's all about how can we amass power and maintain power if you're deporting the people that we've imported. If you deport them, then our power base is going to be gone. And those votes that we were counting on for the future, when these folks ultimately are able to vote, which they would change laws and they would add to the Supreme Court, they would do all these other, go through all these other machinations to make that happen. But basically, they're saying, look, if you start deporting these people, and let's say Trump decides, maximum deportations, and you have millions upon millions leaving the country, let's say over the next 2-3 years, then when it comes time for, even in next year's congressional seats, they may be impacted. And if they're impacted, then they can very much lose power. So that's the game that they're playing. Yes, they don't care about American citizens, obviously, because they don't care about our safety. They don't care about our kids' safety, our communities. They don't care. But they do care about power. And so all of these initiatives, all of these pursuits, all of these lawsuits, all of these temporary restraining orders, all of these judicial actions from insurrectionist judges, all of it culminates into being a strategic play to try to keep as many illegal aliens here as possible. And that's why they were paying them. They were paying them, to stay in 4 or 5-star hotels. They were giving them 3 meals. They were paying them, with EBT cards, leveraged at $5,000 per card per every month. They were giving them free cell phones. They were giving them free health care. They were giving them free everything to bring them here. As in, they incentivized them to come. And they induced them. They seduced them and gave them inducements to make sure that they stay here, because they needed those counts when those various states go through their various census counts of who's in what districts. Then they can actually create new districts and new avenues for power, to hold power within Congress. So in a nutshell, that's what we're dealing with. So yeah, of course, we're dealing with people who don't care about the American people. That's a given. But more importantly, I want us on this channel to understand the power play. The power play is they want to make sure that they maintain power and control, and so they can get us back to that globalist order that they were trying to march us to prior to Trump's winning the election. And so here's the deal. You still have those globalist overlords that are still looking forward to having everything collapse here in the United States and then bringing us into a globalist order. That's still the game plan. They know it's probably going to be delayed for quite some time because Trump and his policies are going to be able to last for quite some time. But that is still the order. Now, those globalist overlords are still telling the folks in Congress who are their house slaves, house Negroes, look, you guys have to make sure that you do all you can to solidify your power base, because right as soon as we get a change in the president, or we get more folks to run in Congress, then we can really take this thing over. So everybody's being compensated, and everybody's being given special compensation in one way or another to march down this path and to solidify their power base. And that's what's happening. So so as you go through your day, and as you see all the craziness coming out of the judiciary and coming out of these these temporary restraining orders and these judicial proclamations from all these crazy judges from all over the place, just remember, this is part of the game plan. But fortunately, you're off the plantation, so you have clear vision. You could see. You see the players. You see the overlords. You see the house slaves, house Negroes. And you understand that we're fulfilling the role and the pathology of the field Negro, the field slave. We just want to be free. And so we're going to stand up, and we're going to do all we can to combat the craziness that's going on, stand with and for those who stand with and for us as far as American freedom. That means we're going to stand solidly behind a man who's making all these changes, that's bringing about a positive change in America, and substantiating or further instantiating the freedom of all Americans. And that's the kind of person that we should be voting for. Those are the kind of policies we should make sure that we applaud. And that's the kind of people in Congress that we really need, not these crazy leftist Marxists progressives. So that's the game plan, folks. Listen, we all want to stay off that plantation. So join me again next time. Off the Plantation, Journey Towards Freedom here on YouTube. God bless.